party's over, stop asking me if I'm the voice of the young generation. If you ask me that again, I'm
first of all, have I introduced myself to you guys?
No.
Okay. I'm Jade, and Bill and Edward. Yes. I know Carl and Scott, and this is
I'm Bonnie.
And we're doing this for our ethnomusicology class at Maribel. Didn't already know that. So, first question: how did you guys get started as a group? How did you form?
We rescued Scott. He had showed up at this place where all these old men bring their guitars and pick like hootenanny, old-time music stuff. And Scott showed up there, and he was learning how to play the bass, and he was and this guy came up to him and said, "Slap your woman, don't slap your bass." And then me and Edward saw he was about to be like killed, and we came over and rescued him.
It was really because it was my first time ever playing slap bass in front of anyone. He got in my face and yelled, and I didn't play with anyone for another 4 months. So
oh my God!
I got brave enough and went back and didn't play with any of the bluegrass pickers because I don't really play any bluegrass, and these guys didn't play bluegrass either, so we just kind of gravitated to each other, and then you guys were jamming for how many years before then?
Not much really. We knew each other. We hadn't really played together.
Yeah, the story got told like we were getting together about twice a month, but it was more like every 10 years.
And then I was in a band at the time, and they were asking me if I wanted to join up as a band. And I was like, no, guys, I'm already in a band. I'm not interested. And they said, well, can you play a gig with us? And I was like, yeah, I guess I can fill in. And then so I filled in at the April Foolies over on Maribel College campus, and then pretty soon I'm filling in on many gigs with them. And then all of a sudden we have a band name, and I look around and I'm like, holy crap, I'm in a band with these guys. And I ended up quitting the other band, and then Carl came
I had played with Edward in a different band years before, and I was in his famous notebook that he keeps of every musician in a 500-mile radius is in his. And if you're not,
I'm in that notebook.
I think you are
Because of the inauguration.
And he called me, I think, because Scott wasn't available for something, so he thought, well, I know this other guy who could maybe do these things. And then for some reason, I don't even remember the first time, but we ended up with all four of us there.
And they approached me and they said, we're thinking about bringing in a second upright bassist. And normally to any upright bassist, I would be very offended. I would be like, what? We only need one up, but I met Carl and really liked Carl, and I was totally on board with it. So I was never offended, ever. And it kind of grew from there, I guess.
And we started playing the April Foolies and helped organize that. And the first band I had Carl was in, and we were the 15 Minutes of Flame. The next year, Bill played at last minute. We were Dead Sea Squirrels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were going to be Dead Sea Squirrels the following year, but I Googled it up and that was copyrighted. So I'm at this computer just going over, Pistol Creek Bait and Sushi Shop and Pistol Creek Yacht Club, because we're looking at Pistol Creek as being the hook for that one event for 15 minutes, that's all. So I called Bill up and I was at the computer and I said, Bill, here's the names, blah, 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 and Pistol Creek Action. That's the one. And that's all the thought that went into it.
Oh, there you go.
That's it.
Sometimes that's just how it happens. So, when did all four of you start playing together? Like, how long does...
About 6 years ago. I guess we three were playing about a year before Carl joined up.
Right, back heel. But Carl and I were playing 2 years before that. And the thing about Bill and us playing together, Bill played my wedding 30 years ago. I met Bill, I don't even know how I met him, but I went over and played at Eagleton, played drums in his band one night. I was doing that with a lot of folks. I was showing up just playing and not interested in being in a group.
So I guess officially 6 years.
I had actually met Bill once before. In 2003, the college was sending a moose trip out west, and we had a fundraiser. We were doing a chili supper, and so I was playing with Edward and college students, and Edward said, I know this guy, he's great. He does like John Prine's on his own stuff, and maybe he'll do it. And he called Bill, and Bill, I don't know if Bill even remembers playing the famous chili supper.
Yeah, it was
thing
under
for
the
Moose
stairs.
Club. Yeah, in the old Wilson Chapel, in the old Wilson Chapel there, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's just sort of interweave.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah, you know, just kind of a web of intermingling interactions.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's quite a range of instruments up there. What do y'all each play? It's not confusing.
Well, I play guitar, and I've been playing guitar since I was about 12 or 13, and then I can remember very well, it was the same week as 9/11, I took up playing the fiddle. I started taking fiddle lessons. It was that's the second great calamity of that week, was me taking that fiddle.
Terrible. God.
And,
Don't cry.
and anyway, so that's the reason I was going to the place where they were here. I took taking my fiddle. I was trying to get my chops in, and that's how you get your chops in. You don't keep up with people. And the first time I walked in the place, Bobby Wilson grabbed me and pulled me up on stage, and they were playing stuff. And yeah, and that's how you get your chops in, and that's. I've been playing rock and roll, but the fiddle really was something that really.
You also play harmonica too.
Way different than what I was doing. And this band gave me an outlet to play a whole different scheme of music.
Bill can play any instrument on that stage.
Well,
But he can play
I can play fiddle a little bit and guitar.
Yeah, and harmonica.
Occasionally they'll let me play guitar.
Good.
Sometimes.
He's good.
I don't know, good. I'm getting
Play
better.
jazz
There's a
guitar.
picture with you and a trumpet.
Yeah, that was me.
It's a bold lie.
He's
Yeah,
got
that
he's
was
got
me.
a note that he can play.
David Dwyer gave me a trumpet. It actually was an American College case. And
No, thanks.
thanks. And so we were at the photo shoot, and I was like, I'm gonna bring out this trumpet and play it. And so we just posed with the trumpet in the picture, and then the next week in the newspaper they say, Pistol Creek's trumpet player, Scott Hines. I'm like, I don't play a single
One note. Well, it's actually not even a note, it's a sound.
Although I want to go on record as saying I played Iron Man on the trumpet last night. There. The first song I ever
That's a
played.
couple more notes. And Carl,
So
you
basically,
got
well, I am the fourth best guitar player in the band. I play tenor banjo and bass and percussion. Really, I mean, there's a bunch of different things, but they're all just whackers and scratchers.
I mean, it
Shakers
takes
and
some
bangers.
skill to play tie.
Well,
Not everyone can do it.
As we have seen on stage, we thought, oh, this would be an instrument that people could come up and it'd be a nice.
But you know who's really good at it? The Maryville College president.
Absolutely. President Bogart. Actually, he's the keeper.
yeah.
I agree.
So that's basic, but yeah, percussion, banjo, and
Whackers.
bass.
And
When I play chainsaw guitar and harmonica and drum. A drummer that somebody mistakenly gave a guitar.
The story I like to tell, I mean, when I'm not joking about being the fourth best guitarist. I took banjo lessons, but figured I would never meet girls with a banjo, you know. So I better learn how to play a
At least with
guitar.
all their teeth.
And somebody looked at me and said, "You play that thing like a bass." And they were complimentary, you know, as a compliment, but they were right. And so
there you go.
I moved to bass.
We actually kind of have an unofficial fifth member. Right? His brother plays piano, so he plays on a lot of those songs.
He's on the record.
He's on the record.
And he plays with us whenever he passes through notes.
We brought in a ringer on the record.
Yeah, and I saw you running Eric Kearney as
just
well.
on one side to play
Yeah.
the euphonium, yeah. We needed-
Awesome.
No, he didn't.
So, talk to me about your genre.
Are you taking medical questions?
We don't know any better than you do what the genre. I mean, you know.
I will
we're-
tell you what
I've
it's
seen
not.
This big long
not
term.
Americana rock aggressive really
years.
Although it's funny that grass makes it in there.
Yeah.
Because we get